Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome to FYI Newsbyte. Here's what we found for your information this lunchtime. A scandal heading for the very top. The phone hacking scandal engulfing Rupert Murdoch's News Corp has shown no sign of slowing down. Next in the hot seat, UK Prime Minister David Cameron. He'll face questions at an emergency Parliament session today. Cameron has cut short a trip to Africa to return to the UK. Yesterday, Rupert Murdoch, his son James and the former News of the World editor Rebecca Brooks all faced questions. But it was an attack on the 80-year-old Rupert Murdoch that dominated the headlines. The United Nations has declared a famine in parts of southern Somalia. The country is suffering its worst drought in 60 years, and that's forcing thousands to walk for days to neighbouring countries in search of food. The UN estimates that nearly half of the Somalian population is in crisis when it comes to access to food. That's about 3.7 million people.
A state of famine exists in parts of Bokol and Lower Shabelle regions of southern Somalia. The rest of southern Somalia is close to famine conditions, and it is likely that conditions will deteriorate further in the next month.
Another victim of hacking, the Taliban is today blaming a hacker for claims that their leader, Mullah Mohammed Omar, is dead. A Taliban spokesman says the group's phones and websites were hacked, and reports that the reclusive Afghan Taliban leader is dead simply aren't true. NATO says it has no knowledge of Omar's condition or whereabouts. Meanwhile, in the US, they're trying to track down the hacker group Anonymous. The FBI has raided homes in New York and California. The targets of the searches were not named. Anonymous is a loosely organised group of hackers sympathetic to WikiLeaks. It's claimed responsibility for numerous attacks against corporate and government websites around the world. Still under America's eye, this is the eyewitness video that has everyone wondering, is this Casey Anthony returning to Orlando? This woman walked off a plane owned by Casey's former attorney, Todd Macaluso. She was wearing the same type of pants and the same pink top Casey wore when she walked out of jail on Sunday morning. Meanwhile, anger is continuing over her not guilty verdict. Casey Anthony is the star attraction at a Kentucky fair. The Bluegrass Fair in Lexington has set up a Casey Anthony themed dunking booth. People can throw at innocent or guilty targets. And finally, the latest fitness craze has hit. Prepare for paddleboard yoga.
It's basically coming onto an oversized surfboard and just using one paddle through the water and observe nature at its finest.
Who knew, but apparently balancing on an oversized surfboard in the middle of a cold lake is the perfect recipe for inner peace. FYI is interactive. From your opinions to news you think we should be covering, we want to hear it all. FYI is available to you 24/7 online for all the information you need to know. Simply log on to tv3.ie/3e/FYI. Here you'll find the latest stories, video catch-ups, comments and the FYI blog. We're also available to you on Twitter and Facebook. Just log on to the website and hit the social networking shortcuts. Time now for a look at the funniest clips on the web. Here's our top 5. At number 5, no store-bought juice for this pooch. He makes his own OJ. Or else he thinks it's a ball. At number 5, why some parents plant shrubbery. At number 3, looks like this kid's pretty happy the news is over. Waving just won't do. At number 2, it's always good to have somewhere to rest your head. Just don't make a boob of yourself.
Here's the 12 one.
I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And number 1 today, scaring pigeons should really be done alone. Tune into FYI later for the newest downloads. We'll have more on the top stories, plus catch up on today's tech news with Cassie, and Paul will be here with all the sport. We'll see you back here at 6, right here on 3E.